Okay, I just want to give you a quick example on one post where my wife failed at SEO. She's actually gone back and fixed it now. So I want to show you what she initially did wrong and how we're able to figure it out. So here is a post that she wrote. She wrote it completely on her own. She did a great job writing the post. And this was talking about her yard sale that she did here recently. And the name of the post was 5 Tips to Help Organize Your Yard Sale. People love articles like this. Anytime you include numbers, real life tips and strategies people can do, people love this kind of stuff. But initially, whenever she wrote this post, the actual URL structure of the post was 5 tips to help organize your yard sale. So that means the URL was houseofrose.com/5-tips-2-help. You get the point. So you have to, whenever you're writing a post, and you don't have to do this on every single post, but posts that are good for tips, but also have some SEO benefit, meaning that people could go to Google and go to a search engine and type in something. I'm not going to go to Google and type in 5 tips to help me organize a yard sale. What I may type in are yard sale tips, or how to organize a yard sale, or how to sell more. So what you can do is change the URL structure. And if you don't know, I showed you this on the previous post, just real quick if you're in WordPress. So here's the actual article title, so that's what you see on the blog. But if you want to change the URL structure, quick edit here, and here's where you can type in the new URL. And notice how the URL is actually how to organize yard sale items, I believe. So that is one little tip. Now you're probably wondering, well, how do I know what to put as the URL? Well, here's one easy tip how to do it. So if you go to Google, and first I just typed in yard sale tips. So cool thing with Google is as you start typing in, they're going to give you suggestions. So yard sale tips for sellers, yard sale tips for success. These are all real terms that people are typing in. So one thing I'll do, so just click on that first one and do a search. So then you can see all the stuff that comes up. Now, one little thing that I like is after you do that, if you scroll all the way down, and if you see all these suggested related searches, this is where I get a lot of my ideas. So these are just more or less extensions of those main phrases. So yard sale pricing tips, yard sale tips for success, yard sale checklist. So I just start clicking those, and it just keeps giving you different suggestions. So what you do is try to select a keyword search that best represents your post. What is going to help do it. So with her, organization was the main focus, so that's hence why we decided on that actual URL structure. So that's one area where she failed. We've been able to go back and fix it. Now, with her, she had just published this post, so it was only like a day old. So we went back and fixed the URL. Now, if the post is, a year old or 6 months old, it's going to be tough to go back and change the URL. Now, you can do it. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but you might miss out on some of the link juice, especially if some people have linked to it, or if they've retweeted you or liked it on Facebook. So you don't necessarily want to go back and do it on old posts, but you definitely wanted to think about it going forward. Now, the second area where she failed at SEO was not including the actual phrase in the blog post itself. So we have gone back and she's added the phrase, how to organize yard sale items inside the actual post. Now she could do a little better job, she still can. So you want to make sure that whatever the phrase is it's included somewhere in that first paragraph. Now what I would like to see is actually have it bolded. Because anytime you bold something, that is showing Google that you're drawing special attention to that. So if it's included in that first paragraph, boom, there it is. Now what I would like to see at the very end is include it one more time, and oftentimes I'll do this in the form of asking a question. So, for example, what are some of your tips in organizing? Bam. Do that on your own side if you want to bold it, italicize it, just give extra attention. That's just including that keyword one more time in your blog post. So making sure that you have, because if you're telling Google, hey, I'm trying to target this keyword, but you don't include it anywhere in the blog post, then it's not going to work out that well. So you want to make sure that you're including it somewhere throughout. Another area that she can still improve on is utilizing the heading tags, which I gotta exit full screen to see this. So anytime that you're doing a blog post, I like putting headers in here. This is in WordPress. We always do heading 3. Some people say heading 2. We can save that for another day. But this is, once again, is just telling to Google, giving subheadings on what the blog article is about. For one, as far as I think it looks good, I think it helps break up the text. So if you're not using headings in your blog post already, I strongly encourage you to do so. But also, too, it's also telling Google, once again, reinforcing what that article is about. Now, I would like to have seen using some of those keywords in her heading, which she is not at the present time. So that's one thing that she can still go back and fix. The third thing that she failed at SEO, and I'm sorry, she's done a really good job. I'm probably getting in trouble for using the word fail and referencing her a lot. But the other thing is with the pictures. Now, she's actually gone back and done this. So you click on the picture there, and in the title and the alternate text, you want to make sure that you're including your keyword in those pictures. Because once again, Google can't see pictures, but they can read the alternate text within the picture. So there's another way that you can help have your blog post rank for SEO. And if you have multiple pictures, which is great, you might want to change up the text a little bit, change up the alternate text, which she has. So here she added sell items price tag on the actual picture here. So, you can do all the same keywords throughout. If you vary it, it also can help be found other phrases when people are typing into Google. So varying the keywords there is always a good thing. All right, the last thing when she failed at SEO, which she did go back and improve, with our theme thesis, it has this SEO, kind of like all-in SEO box, which basically allows you to give more description on the blog post. If you don't have thesis, we think you probably should, but that's okay. You can actually install a plugin called All-in-One SEO, which will give you the exact same thing. So here is where you can give a different title. So we actually changed the title here, how to organize yard sale items. We did a brief description of the actual blog post, and then what she needs to add is some meta keywords here. And if you don't know what this is, when people type into Google, if they're searching for something, they'll actually see this custom title, how to organize yard sale items, versus seeing the 5 tips to help organize your yard sale. So that's a little trick that a lot of people don't know. So when people actually type into Google, this is what they would see. This is the little description that they'll see. And just to give an example, so here, this is what I'm talking about. So this is where they would see the title that you put in the all-in-one SEO, and here is the description on what they'll see here, versus taking a summary of the actual blog post. So that can be good, especially if you are targeting certain keywords, to make sure that it's in the custom title and also in the meta description. And you also want to try to have it at the beginning as best you can. So organizing yard sale items, we put that first versus putting a lot of other text and then at the end. And also remember that it can only read the first 150 characters. So right now we're at 94. We could add another 55 or so to help out there. And the last thing you can do is adding tags here, which she added the 5 tips to help organize your yard sale, how to organize yard sale items, yard sale. So adding a lot of tags, which is just more description on what the blog post is about. So those are just some quick ways, some little simple ways that my wife failed at SEO on a blog post. Great post, but now she can really maximize the value. Not only is it a good post for her readers, the people can leave comments on and offer suggestions, but also increases the ability for her to be found via Google. And to me, that is just an added benefit. Why not have a benefit for your readers, but also be found via Google and have more traffic and just have your blog be read by that many more people. So that's how you can fix some quick little SEO tips, and I hope this was helpful. This is Jeff Rose, Dollars and Roses. We'll see you soon.